Hi, welcome to Zgadgetreview. Before we get started, go ahead and subscribe by hitting the button down there or the little watermark. Thank you. The prices for the US LG TVs, OLED TVs, I'm talking about every single one of them, has leaked. Alright, so as we know, LG has their OLED TVs coming out this year. We have the OLED A1, the OLED C1, and the OLED G1, which has the new Evo OLED panel. Now, the information that has come out has all the information that we need about ports, the variable refresh rate, G-Sync, all of it. Starting with LG's OLED A1. This is going to be LG's OLED entry-level OLED model. It's the first time they're offering a TV like this. This is going to be an OLED TV with 60 Hz refresh rates. It won't include G-Sync or any variable refresh rates. It will support Dolby Vision, HDR. It's going to have the A7 processor in it. It's going to have 3 HDMI ports. The HDMI ports, once again, if you are not aware, are not going to be HDMI 2.1. These are going to be regular HDMI ports. Let's get on with the prices. So you're going to get a 48-inch OLED TV at $1,300. $1,299 is what the price is for the LG OLED A1. Then you have 55 inches at $1,399. Then you have 65 inches at $1,999 and 77 inches at $3,199. Once again, this is the LG A1 TV, entry-level TV, no HDMI 2.1 or any of that. There is really nothing to compare with that LG offers currently, or I guess offered last year, because it's the first year, once again, that they're going to offer a TV like this. I think it puts it in a really good place to compete for people who are looking for OLED TVs who won't necessarily do gaming or anything like that. They just want to watch TV or movies and things like that. This should be a really good price for a OLED TV. Again, at 65 inches at $2,000 is not bad at all. Or even if you go 55 inches at $1,400, that's a really good price. Now let's go with the LG C1. This is the successor to the LG CX. LG CX, the most popular TV that LG offered last year. Let's see what it has and talk about prices. So it's going to be a 120 Hz refresh rate panel. It's going to include variable refresh rate and G-Sync. This will include the A9 processor. It's of course going to have all the other features, HDR, Dolby Vision. It's going to have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. This means that compared to Samsung TVs, because from what I hear, Samsung TVs will only have 1 or 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, this will give you the option of having HDMI 2.1 in all 4 ports. So if you have more than one console, if you have a computer, you can plug pretty much anything that you want to use that supports HDMI 2.1 to this TV. Now let's go with the prices. So at 48 inches, the LG C1 is going to be $1,399. The 55 inch is going to be $1,599. 65 inches jumps up a little bit to $22.99. Then the 77 inch is $34.99. And the 83 inch, the biggest TV that LG is going to offer when it comes to the C1 4K, is going to be $59.99. Now let's compare the prices to the LG CX, where if you were looking in the market right now for a TV and you wanted to get an LG CX, we can try to see what it will cost one of those now. So the LG CX at 77 inches right now is selling for $3,300. 65 inches is $1,999, so $2,000. The 55 inch is $1,499, $1,500. And the 48 inch is also $1,499, so $1,500. So comparing those prices, it tells us that if you are in the market for an OLED TV, you might as well just wait for the new TVs to come out to the market, because the difference in price between the 77-inch LG CX and the LG C1 is only $200. Then when we look at the 65-inch size, there's a little bit more of a difference in price there. So there you go for $1,999 right now, so $2,000 even, to $2,300. So it's an extra $300 for the new model versus last year's model. And then we have the 55-inch, $1,599 for the LG C1, and last year's model is $1,499. So on that one, I will definitely recommend you that if you're in the market for an OLED TV 55-inch to just wait for the new model because it's only $100 more than last year's model. They didn't offer an 83-inch last year on the CX series, so this is the first year they have the 83-inch, and that's, like I said, $6,000. And let's talk about the LG G1, which is again the new Evo panel. This is also going to be a 120 Hz refresh rate. It's going to support HDR, Dolby Vision. It's also going to have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. Let's look at the prices. So this TV starts at 55 inches. There's no 48-inch version. There's no 83-inch version either. The sizes here are 55, 65, and 77 inches. So starting with the 55-inch, that's going to come out to $19.99. Then you have the 65-inch at $27.99. And then you have the 77-inch at $42.99. So $4,300. Keep in mind though, these prices they're not cheap, okay? These aren't cheap TVs I'm not going to say these are all the cheapest TVs. But the LG G1 has new technology in it. It has the new Evo panel that's supposed to be brighter and all these other things. At $19.99 at 55 inches, that's a great price. If we compare to what Sony is going to be offering, Sony is going to be offering pretty much it's the same panel. The LG Evo panel is going to be on the A90J, and we have the prices for the A90J that came out a few months ago from Sony. So comparing the 55-inch to Sony's 55-inch, Sony is going to be charging $29.99. It's going to be charging an extra $1,000 for the same panel, same size. So $19.99 compared to $29.99. And then for the 65-inch, this is going to be $27.99 for a 65-inch LG C1, and then you have $39.99 from Sony for the A90J. That's an extra $1,200 that Sony is charging for the same panel. Again, I understand it's not the exact same TV because different processors and all that, and different use of the technology and software. So I get that it's in apples to apples when it comes to the final product, but you're getting the same panel on both TVs. That's a fact. This is the difference. Now, we don't have a price for the 83-inch TV that Sony is offering because the A90J will have an 83-inch TV versus the GX that tops at 77 inches. But this is a very aggressive pricing from LG. If it's really the pricing that we are going to get, it's like they're there to say, we are here to take over the OLED market. The OLED market needs to be LG's, is going to be LG's. Look at how much cheaper we are than anybody else, especially when it comes to the LG G1 TV. So let's start with the 77-inch. 77-inch, again, LG GX, last year's TV. Right now it's at a discount because it's last year's. Starts at 77 inches, it's $39.99 versus $42.99 brand new. So you're saving $300 there between the last year's model and this year's model. Then you have 65 inches, $24.99 versus $27.99. Again, $24.99 last year's model, $27.99 this year's model. And then you have the 55-inch, which this year's model is going to be $19.99 and last year's model is $18.99. So you are saving $100. So if you're in the market for an LG G TV, if you are for the 55-inch, I will just wait for the new TV to come out in order to get it, since it's only $100 difference. Now, I couldn't find information on the release date for these TVs, but I'm assuming it should be sometime between April and May. Usually TVs get released around that time or summertime. So it will be, I will say, between April, May, June, around that time. The other difference between these TVs and Sony's offerings is that Sony won't add VRR until later in an update. So LG also has the upper hand because most likely, usually, LG has all their features unlocked when the TV comes out. I know they did last year unlock the G-Sync later on in the year because they were waiting for the new graphics cards and next-gen consoles to come out, so they did it around that time. But this year, things should be different, and these things should be unlocked the moment the TVs come out. So I will say, at this time, LG has an upper hand, not only in price, but the fact that their features come ready out of the box. What do you think about the prices? Do you think this leak is real? Are there any of these TVs that all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I can get that one or that one? Let me know in the comment section. That's it from me. Go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. And thank you very much for watching.